Natural Samaba. Na Sawati. Oh, yeah. Natural Samaba.
You Tonton Sansan Breni, Dwaboase Power 97.9. Yes, indeed, Asamaba. What's the Ghana? No, I dream also, BBI fine, BBI Costa, come. After all, Nana, the Danko Gufado, here, Winnie Pana, a wild band winty, and the baby, Nyame Baye, ha! Nyame, dreaming Yansa, the knee, a theatre, ye three so, Sadabaya, ye knee, ever who no man try a words ya, Yanui, yet Yamaya say, Yadabaka, Wabra Yahusania, a try a words yano, and send for Taye. What's the Ghana? Nene. Eba ye sika semon to ya e no ma je gu say waka wanu atum wanu na bebon what the Ghana has say sabre e no ma bo ade san nyina kwa na ekosoro e na IMF meka mientia eba ma hodo a we abibi mamu ha fatoso eba ma hodo a e we abibi mamu ha o ma bobosia firi om ho pa Ghana pa na di kan eba ma hodo a o ma bobosia Edia free IMF for pa Ghana pa ne di kan. Yes, screenshot to that story no. That is a worry. And wabra when you know cost one so about almost domestic debt exchange program no so. And also young kwot ya. And then the entity and say sika kura bi am penny for would when you know. Omu dwane free side we ho. Also hwan man for yanka ho. About some domestic debt exchange program for Mopasa Moyeno. I think so beyond Sikakrabia Hudwa or ma take this position. No, I hear pensioners. Yes, I per se, Yadi and Nichiro Mosono. Womun say, Sabai was arguing Pona, Ebia and Fumswabi. Ebia, Asumgenti no Mokasano, Ebia and Fumswabi. Then Ranso and any nano pay, a Brahmin in them saw the website. Another story I mean who dream. And I'm saying all these things for anyone who thinks that baby a Ghana no she see here. Me dine a diacha mo sada baya mubehunu ni akoso wo wam kansa wo memu. Was say Professor Bokpen say government is still spending as though there's no crisis. Was abre ya ye wa hu kire mu economist I was also a professor Godfred Bokpen. He has berated the government for not sticking to its side of the bargain to adjust fiscal expenditure amidst the country debt sustainability crisis, for which reason creditors have taken a haircut. I can see a can to into Shaday, a Jumedia course where Nam 20 and Cocrafone Mroa Quatana, Ministry of Finance, near Kofa Baye, a cabe door, my Ghana, Yetrisho. Was Sabreya a card do croye, ye dakem, as I say, Yahunya Kono, Emma Obia say, or better buy a busia biono. A buy no so sika, and was so what teso when the sick a dear quasro, one teso, Kwana Cosro. And a Professor Bokpen say, a buy ni disikanya funyafu, says Sikanya funyafu, as a one year when him say, Assembia to a man Ghana. Wabra finance minister Nangasa, a bejina yanim kase, ya dasem kesiemu, ya wasemu, ya wamaniemu. Wabudia, wamusika die, any normal mo ye, any sika wamunya, any sika wamu yusu, said your modi yanumpo, anka yanitrampa, ankabia, yabenya ahum kabi. But unfortunately, they have nothing to show. Professor Bokpen say, wamu yusu sikanity said ye need crisis mu. And upon all this, Ghana for hunu moto, Ghana for hunu send ye munyuma yo esitie, Ghana for hunu say, Monsem Fatase, and what's some motina bemu, even Mam Kasamu go for, including Canada, Japan, was Shamu Bosse, Obama showdown, which means say, Wabayi Motono, Wagusha, Wayimutua, Wada and D, and ya check Ghana for you say, 2022 hono, and Yenina Yahunu say, more 2024 about one Munya Winnie. And so Somuka and Somuka say breaking the 8. It means say woman ni man pampa say woman we need 2024 about one. Eti di ombe ye bia wombe si amanfo kwan no mbe. Di ombe bi ombe chinchim confonsa wombe. Limited registration exercise kekaye ye. Hwo amanfo bi omu prepra. Obi a ye de sekan ekobo ni tirim. limited registration keka yeye hwemfom so ahodo ekokokso asa abatro commissioner wantena se am prepare say woba exercise bi say na samanfo raise issue a tie de jemensa eka o say nra meka mo say 2016 jemensa bra no wo ayiye no wo kire na adwen say yeka say ye registration ewo easy ne offices ahodo a e de asem meba enra asem na meka no me sure say obi twa de kwakire no na wayi ho ano ebra na wone yen temamfo ekasa wa abatro komisa tie kakra na ma why bibi kakra de akro radio we.
Yes, you talked about the old office, and as you know, it was a complex that we occupied as the head office until recently. And when we moved, we felt it prudent in our bid to save some money for the taxpayer to provide office space for, I think, 5 of our district offices who were perching in places that were not convenient and comfortable. And so rather than go and rent spaces for them to occupy, we thought it wise, because we have that big, huge edifice there, to provide them with accommodation in those offices. And those are districts in the Greater Accra region. And so that was the rationale. It's not just to cluster it. And it was not done for the registration. It's a huge edifice with 3 big structures. And rather than have them sit and go waste, we thought that it was better to have, some of our district officers, which had difficulties with accommodation and were perching in most places, in most cases, to occupy these with ease. It is well known that when you have registration, the first few days you have traffic. This is not uncommon. And I recall that even in 2020, when we had registration on the polling station basis, you have traffic. The whole idea is to build efficiency into your process. And so realizing that the exercise was highly participatory, we increased the number of registration stations in most of the places. Indeed, we've had consistent engagement with our officers on the field, and they come back to us, they say, we have a lot of traffic here, we have long queues here. And so we immediately give approval for new registration stations to be added on. And so that's how we do it. But having traffic is not an issue. This is what it should be. But we should be efficient to provide registration stations to manage the queues, to ensure the swift, the swift conduct of the registration.
Rationalization way obia obetie biano. May sure say who sound say, hey, Jemensa, just say when it is convenient for you, dear. On Jechemu awodema. Sabre na nanya wono, nanya wo. Na sesa wo ye abatro commission dear. Sabre na na wote civil society. Twabo abatro commission no. Say one year na wo ye sabre no fa 2016 assembly to so. 1 year na wo ye sabre no. Wo si amanfo kwan. What the amount for fat team, what the amount for fat which room, and I yet shall say, Sadian and Ecos was Sabre ya, changing I can, yanya limited registration exercise, our easy district offices, no, ye casam for Nina Jawa, I feel about Church Musadia, or rationalize it at the bonny way away. Say, registration exercise via within the first 3 days, no, a young man for Bob Peso, for the way. And the truth is, who said that for some time? Now when your registration exercise and now 20 number dorsal, did you not anticipate this? When your projection and we say and now say more backlog in tea, more anticipate this numbers in the dorsal, now man for baba peso. More anticipate this if you know say touch you say and you bay. And that is what we were expecting you to come and address and rap. I mean yes a man to Monza and Frey Mubi. And you can question say baby someone can and we'll use that same tone to talk to you because as ya casabra won't ya casabra ya casawo assume your kwaso I won't take. Why can say would you just a chinchima or betchinchim and confonsa? And look at how you are rationalizing this. Now body language. And Casabre and he said Yaman for see Casabufu Bado, Casabre and Closet or Casania Brel. Now we speak it to the issues. issues about mumfidie na abefo tenten fidie moamo e ma ne nya adwuma. Speak to it. Tell us what the alternative is. Maye hunu wasabre mfidie ne nya adwuma no e de na oba abaye. Not some figures bia won to around say anya bia no registration exercise na within the past 6 days no anya bia nya hwe kra no yetima register Ghana for 182,831 na sa wuchichemu a na akukoko Ghana miamia hodo a Western region ye record 11,644 represented 6.4%. And a so-called Western North, you register 6,491, represents 3.6%. Oko Central Regional, you register 17,590, represented 9.6%. Oko Greater Accra, you register 27,264, representing 14.9%. Oko Volta, you register 12,681, representing 6.9%. Oko Oti Regional, ya register 4,427, representing 2.4%. Oko Eastern Regional, ya register 19,327, representing 10.6%. Oko Ashanti Regional, ya register 29,255, representing 16%. Oko Burun Regional, according to ECO, ya register 6,580, representing 3.6%. Oko Ahafo Regional, ya register 4,244, representing 2.3%. Oko Upper East, ya register 8,639, representing 4.7%. Oko Upper West, ya register 5,241, representing 2.9%. But the point that must be made clear, without any argument, and they say there was a backlog as a result of now one year registration exercise, somewhere from a year 2020, Sanyaba. There's been a backlog. A man for being trained, say bedroom or brabason, now Quenya, I'm on Matimania Quenya, near to what Romudin, about Batwan Memu. It is why, sir, a year registration way, now figures when are they tray on day 6 and that's day 7. When you and the teething problems, bit to say, a man for Joe Mutensio, with your mamma a year, such a from plains, Diano, a banana cabori, and in St. Jeff on Casano. With your young a course, radio. Such a from plains.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Electoral Commission will target, say, Anya Hekwane, they also register NIPA 150. Our district team. And don't say 150 no a pim. But at least one team can also register NIPA 150. No, 41 or so. And then we know because I feel about 45. The room say no more idea. But everything shows say 100. Uba who empty chairs see her. Just a NIPA or her. Electoral Commission Amrante we inside or my crowd or so umbe. But NIPA no my. Unto me man so. Ubu how man if you have him crowd unto me man. When they say, some political parties, any swadi who see Benya numbers, no. Na cost to now be that parties, no so. Na cost to no cry banner way to me to find the Panabranca, ya. You put in all the effort yet in Pano to me, ma. So, man, say higher MTR is directly attributed to the fact that this is a remote constituency and you're more trouble. When you MPP, you know, back catch you, and yet will be in Como Bimba, especially since only Tiguseya. Sebi yadi more with them. You say, in your poor money, you know, dear. One more can be a woman, or mutina superma. Bois. Such a from place, you know, himself, and the man see piano and numbers in your day. Room numbers, and I bet you there's a punto no idea, but no Sefatana, won't Sefata. Biane a district.
Moro Cabore, no. But so was that video ni man, baby, and not omutens, you know. Me pese James ehe. Na video na oyene babo amabania de kire arefo ne atiefo oni akona ye de sekan ko pa ni trim all because of akasakasa bi e man hom so because of registration and size no. Me pese na James ehe. Me pese wo hwe. So atwa se bibi e koso wano bibi e koso kama na ne amanfo ka na nye no kra. And you see ade ba ko wo kan ya e ma me yem hye me ma me hunu se ma me we won ka no kra. a court injunction adeɛ no say what the court injunction beba a day a year kwakoye dwumadie no na ade sa court injunction ne ba na bra na NDC for kwato aba no da ban na mobayɛ sa announcement no say ɛyɛ Dr. Kwame Minkah anamo akwase ni bia na yɛ the injunction e ba beto abato no so da ban na moyɛ sa announcement no na da ban hwɛ sɛ deɛ musi ɛde ahohare so ɛne ahopepre ɛdi sa adwuma no ɛnɛ Ghana ni disia bi Ghana fo bi amanyokuo ahodoɔ bi a wɔn wɔ man Ghana akɔ court ama court ebie kwan ne se yɛmfa taabo nto ɛyɛ adwumadie na mudie no so yɛbɛsɛvo mu a na mudwane yɛbɛsɛvo mu no na mudwane ne tie deɛ Jimensa kaayɛ saa da na ɔmo de bae no na yɛ nyina yɛ kɔfield obi musa Jimensa na Jimensa sɛ wotie mi a bra bɛkyerɛ me baabi pɔtea na wɔ saa da na abante wa ne bae sɛ wɔde court krataa ɛbrɛ wo no bra bɛkyerɛ me baabi a field kora na wogyina come and tell us constituency ben na wo district office ben na wo field ben na wo na wo yede fa ho evidence betre yen fa ho evidence e betre yen baby a yedru no eno course na me nya no I don't know about you wa wo hwe me I don't know enti na no akoga mbeka se abufu eba no ebobo ba no ebedu mpempensuo bi wan hwe political party bi tse NDC ni CPP ane ne ho nkro no ba o machita afo aye worried no ebedu ba bi wan hwe omuntimi manage even those in the MPP are worried amanfo a wo MPP mo wo nyina ye worried ba me yasa nya atwom enam se ade wei wo munim se bedi abo omunti o mo ma abontem beka ho asem na me dear Richard Ahiyaba ewo TV3 was all of us are managing it. All of us are managing the situation. How are you managing it? Speak truth to power. A brand number opposition. Namon kasanche abato komisa. So ye bibi nam wo bunsusu mu no. And tin sem fata Ghana for. Namon ma bonten be kasa enti abato komisa. And na wa be mu ntina wuntimi nkasa. Ana de omo ye omo yama mu edibu amuntina munyina muntimi nkasa munyina makeka manu atum simple registration exercise na mafu obrebra simple registration exercise na mama nkura nkitinkiti we ya monsan so mpa adwuma bia mo masɛ ma de hwea ho nsɛm masɛ man na dia mo no na masa mo fa ho kyerɛ we mo simple registration exercise eno ma simple a wasam ye monye Mama mi adu jitama klo na TV3 waka asem bi e de kire maame abatro komisa panyi Jimensa sa asem no said osika no mefo asotie wei.
Who is Madam Jimensa? Why does she think that her protection is coming from the soldiers surrounding her house? Madam, you are living in a fool's paradise. A few days ago, the president of Gabon, Omar Bongo, shut the internet in Gabon. He shut it.
You mean before the coup?
Yes, before the coup. He shut the internet. He felt he was the Lord of Lords.
Prior and during the election?
Yes. People said, look, Omar Bongo, what you're doing is wrong. He shut the internet. Why do you think he was shutting the internet? He was doing so to stop people from making legitimate concerns heard. Do you know who removed him? His own cousin, the head of the presidential guard. When he was removed, now he was there saying people should make noise. The opportunity for people to make noise was shut by you. Madam Jimensa, remember that in the last election, the NDC had in excess of 6 million rich votes. NDC leader who calls even 2 million of these members to be on the street of this country. What police force can stop us? Which military can stop us? This country, we must know that it has taken the cooperation of the NDC to keep this country going forward.
Yes. And I know na John Mahama as an opposition leader. What can be no my Ghana Yasum Gina Fako? aga opposition leader bia kaje kwon aje kwon Canada Japan ka showdown no ene oyi mu ama no ena wo declare wo bie so ama obi ehunu boni amudi adi man yi a wono so ka wo bi because te said ya one catch a man for say ebra na ade ni si no obi ankasa no ono so wankasa de no kan nya nanse ya wo post bi a wo dimrika wa sha ase a wo kika kase ena ma say me business na say ni say ono so ka ho. So these are the kind of people who are forcing your hand. Setting china momo muntina bemu. Dear abatro komisa yeno. Etia mra wabu mra so. The justifications are one man. Ebine se a yes unlimited registration exercise. Sika ayi emrasha bedwafo eti 2 ma womde ma no. Say near Betima ye etina ya liberty ya hotu a district offices. Hey, Mammy Jimensa, one kind of crack crowd. Honorable Samuel Okuje to a black one, a catch him off air say, sad some no can and yanocre, and we are hoping say you better raising on the line. What Jitum say, 1 year Becassa. Honorable Samuel Okuje to a black one name and send for a bar pro, and one in Peswaso, this and for a call, Achomo and 1 man. And Quadane Fem was Sabre ya Dintreno, Air Coswono. Was it your Jimen's I can no crab I could be any. Nanko, why you say, what person would be him? No registration exercise. No, we yana said your cannon and I see yana. So we hear see can be a I didn't tell you, sir. No be missing who quine. So Babusa said, Monfessy can be coming home. Become yentia was here bo Ghana for mutua to ho ban etina ya limit ye ho sa no etisika omuji tu mu e wo mrasha bedwafie no ho ana eno ana ye gina so ye de ye we I mean how no mom yan santie Jemensa was ansem ni bi ene ne aka no ho mame second clip yenko.
Article 42 of the 1992 Constitution confers on every Ghanaian who is 18 years and above and of sound mind the right to register to vote. Similarly, Article 45 of the Constitution clothes the Electoral Commission with the mandate and responsibility of compiling the register of voters at such periods as may be determined by law. It is in the exercise of this mandate, therefore, that we commenced the 2023 voters registration exercise on Tuesday, the 12th of September 2023. I'm happy to note that in spite of a few hiccups experienced in the first 2 days, the exercise is proceeding well to the glory of God. As you may know, we experienced in the first 2 days temporary breaks in the registration exercise, due mainly to a number of issues ranging from disruptions to our internet supply, to power outages, rainfall, and in a few instances, as a commission, we quickly moved to resolve these issues to ensure an unhindered, smooth, and seamless process. I'm happy to note that the registration exercise is proceeding well. A key policy established to guide this registration exercise was the use of the online method of registration.
No problem, no.
By this, I mean that the system is connected directly to the database. Mm-hmm. As such, right from the point of registration, it is possible to detect whether or not a person had previously registered. Once the applicant places his or her fingers on the fingerprint scanner, the system is able to establish whether that person already exists in the database or not.
Jemensa die. Ono na hwe ya bato ho nsensem so e wo man Ghana. Wono ankasa atwe. In fact, exams are Ghana for the amano no. Wato paper na atwe. E no atwe ono ankasa ne question. And on one cassa de a whom why Emma. A Juma Ghana for essay ye, and it said, Shay about one sense some as well. A movie and it's a original mrapon so. No, what shall say be a bacoso torte. wɔyɛ mamra no nkyerɛkyerɛmu bi wɔ hɔ anaasɛ bea bi wɔ hɔ a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛba ɛyɛ limited ɛyɛ registration exercise na beayɔ no a yɛbɛyɛ registration exercise no ɛwɔ sɛ ɛtumi yɛ beayɔ a sɛ yɛka sɛ yɛto aba a